Welcome to the Client Magnet Mentorship. Now, what is this mentorship all about? It's very normal to hear that interior designers get inconsistent clients. One month you may have five clients, another month you may have two clients, and another month you may have none. Well, there is a problem here. The problem is not your designing, the problem is the system here. It's not that you are not good at what you do, but you need to create a system where you get consistent leads to be able to convert them into paying client projects. And there is a very simple way to do this. So, first thing first is to understand how to get continuous leads, enough leads to be able to choose who's the right client for you to work with. It's important for you to understand who you are as a designer. So, the first thing we're going to be talking about is your niche. One clear sentence that describes who you are and what is your design style with who you serve. The second thing we're going to be discussing is the positioning and USP. One statement that is going to help people understand why they should choose you over multiple other designers in your city or in your country. What puts you ahead of all the other designers out there so that they don't go comparing you to other designers, but fully choose you and your services, right? The third thing is, besides knowing you yourself and your design services, it's important to understand who your client is. You should not be designing for anyone and everyone. You should have a clear client avatar on who that client is. Once you know exactly who the client is, you should understand what their top three pain points are. Once you know their top three pain points, you will understand how you can program your design services to fit to the solutions to fully solve their specific problems, right? But you cannot solve the problems if you do not know what the problems are, and you cannot know what the problems are if you don't know who the target audience is. So it's really important not just to know your niche and your positioning, but also important to understand who the target audience is so that you can price and plan your services better. The next thing is, once you have all of your basics in place, it's important for the world to know about you, right? The best way to do this is, of course, online and offline options. I feel Instagram is a great way to get organic reach. And how you can do this is not just by setting up an Instagram page and hoping that somebody will contact you, but there is actually a process behind it. So, for example, when you're creating an Instagram page, you should understand that how you should set your bio, how you should put in the content every week, and how you should put in the highlights and certain ways where you can put out your offer so that when the leads actually come onto your page, they feel that you are the right designer for them to reach out to you. Not only will the budgets match, the style will match, and you will have consistent leads coming in all the time, which means it's not just the client choosing you, but you are going to get the advantage of being able to choose the clients as well. So can't get any better, can it? And then after you have set up this Instagram page where everything is put into that, all your information and details are correctly put onto that, and you have consistent content going through, the next step is for people to know about you more effectively. So how you can do that is you can actually send out DM lists, no, not just to anyone and everyone, but to specifically those people who you have already understood who your target audience is. And of course, use your basic WhatsApp, Instagram, and Google business to let others, maybe in your friends, family, and people who have your contact, to reach out to you. Maybe they may not have the services that maybe you cannot, maybe they do not have the services that they need at the moment, but maybe they can know somebody else, a friend, a neighbor, or somebody who's looking for your services, and they can recommend it too. So you never know where one message somebody reads can actually help you get a whole entire project worth lakhs of rupees, right? So this is the entire understanding of the system, part one, wherein this week we're only going to be focusing on the niche, the positioning and USP, the target audience, the Instagram setup, your DM list, and the final professional launch. So, one, find your niche. Now, what is a niche and why does it even matter? It's very common for all of us designers to say that I design any space for any client and for any style, but then you're just a general person. What is the difference between you and any other designer out there? For example, when you go to a doctor, would you go to a general doctor or would you go to a specific surgeon if you're going through something that's very complicated, right? So what the reason you go to someone who is more advanced is because they're a specialist in that specific field. So if you can be a specialist in your field in designing, people will actually look up to you more premiumly and you can position yourself better. So instead of saying you just design for anyone and everyone, what you can do is you can actually understand how you can niche down into saying that you design calm, minimal homes for busy working parents in Mumbai. Now, do you see the difference? Not only are you saying that you design for a specific type, like a design style which is minimal, you're mentioning that you're doing it for homes, and you're also mentioning the type of people you want to interact with, that is busy working parents, and a specific location as well. So now, how many designers in your city are doing exactly this, where they're designing for calm, minimal homes for specifically busy working parents? Now you've already narrowed down from 10,000 probably designers in your city to probably only 100 who are specifically only doing this, right? So your competition also goes much, much lower. So definitely keep this in mind when you are planning your niche. Now, some of the most profitable niches which are in this market are, let's say, luxury apartments, rental homes, for which your ideal clients would be high income professionals and tenants. Whereas an example for these projects would be your premium penthouses, rental homes, or let's say if you're into the commercial space, you can have your ideal client as a business owner, and the example could be offices or co working spaces. So if before maybe this is something that you used to say that hi, I design residential and commercial interior designing spaces, but now you can say I design rental apartments for newly married couples in Pune, right? So this happens where you are now positioning yourself as a specific person who does a specific style for a specific person in a specific location. So this is now your new niche. And how do you find out what is your niche? Ask these questions. What type of space excites you? What are you naturally good at? What do people around you actually need right now? And which projects do you realistically think you can get right now? Now, for example, if you've just started out and you're expecting one of those most premium projects when nobody knows anything about you, you're being a bit unrealistic. So be a realistic person and try to understand what is something that you can literally start with right now. So instead of saying you only design residential and commercial interior designing, you could actually say that you design rental apartments for newly married couples in Pune, which has everything specifically as a specific niche for you. Now, after you've understood the niche, the second most important thing is how you position yourself and how you can uniquely define who you are as a designer so that people do not compare you to other designers. So you think that people do not pay you extra because your rates are too high. But the problem is usually not the price. The problem is how you're positioning yourself. Because if you understand what the problem is of your client and you can be someone who solves it, they will pay you for the confidence you have to understand the problem and find solutions for that. So, a budgeted positioning would be someone who just says that, hey, I design a room that looks nice. Whereas a premium positioning would be that you design a room or a home that reflects not just who the client is, but you design it from a place that you actually understand the client and the space literally feels like them. Weak positioning would again be like, I design modern homes, whereas you can also put it as, I help professionals create calm, low maintenance homes that they actually enjoy coming back to. Or another example is instead of just saying I create beautiful interiors, you can say I help Airbnb hosts create boutique style stays that attract more bookings and better reviews. Because what happens with this is you know who your specific audience is. In this example, it was an Airbnb host. In the previous example, it was busy professionals. You know what is the style you're going for. Over here, it is calm, low maintenance homes. Over here, it is boutique style stays. And you are also helping them overcome something by giving them something that they want, by giving them a home that they actually want to come back to. Or as an Airbnb host, their outcome most necessary for them is more bookings and better reviews. So by targeting their emotion on what would actually help them, you are positioning yourself to be not just a designer who gives them 3D views or layouts or presentations, but you are positioning yourself to that you are that one person that's going to solve all their problems and give them their dream space. So that is where is the difference between a weak positioning and a strong positioning. And trust me, once you position yourself strongly, the problem is never going to be like, can you reduce the price? Can you give me a discount? Or why is another designer charging more than you? Because you have the positioning that you are the only person who can solve the problem the way you do. Now, how do you come up with this positioning? There are a couple of ways to do it, but the four simple steps to understand how to understand your position is understanding step one, who do you help? Step two, what result do you help them achieve? Step three, how do you help them achieve it through what method? And step four, what fear or frustration are you removing when they are hiring you? So, a quick example to these answers is if you have to ask who it is who your target audience is. So, was it specifically a newly married couple? Or could it be someone, the first time homeowners, like their first time they're buying a home? What is the result that they are going to achieve from it? They're going to achieve a functional, stylish home that reflects their lifestyle. It's going to be a home that is fully ready when they move into it. And how are you going to do it? What are the things you're going to provide them? You're going to provide proper space planning. You're going to give you maybe 3D visuals, maybe proper quality material selections, or it could be end-to-end service. And what is the fear that you are removing? Now, usually people have a lot of fear when they're hiring a designer that maybe the budgets would go too high. So you are going to tell them that you are going to design ensuring that the budgets do not go higher. You are going to ensure that expensive mistakes do not happen. Or you are going to ensure that maybe when they have the fear of managing multiple contractors, you are actually going to help them with that. So, how you position yourself is really going to be the difference why they choose you and not the other 500 designers in your location. So, instead of saying a weak USP, which is your unique selling point, as yeah, I have an eye for detail, or yes, I just design, instead, position yourself using this formula. So, you should make up a sentence that says, I help your ideal client get a specific outcome through a specific process or task that you do so that they can get whatever the final outcome is without a fear or an objection or a limiting belief that they have. So, to simply put this in an example, it would be I help newly married couple, that is my ideal client, in Pune move into a fully designed first home that is the specific outcome within 90 days, right? So you're even giving a timeline through a fixed scope design process. That is your method or your process. You can go even more detailed in this so that they can remove, right? So you're removing the fear. So here you're being like, without the budget surprises that come with hiring a random contractor. So you are kind of mentioning who your target audience is, what is the outcome you are giving, what is the emotional benefit they're going to get from this through the process that you have, and ensuring that their fear is met and you are providing a solution to it. So similar to this, I want you to think and write down what is your niche, what is your positioning, and what is your USP. Think about it and write down exactly what comes to you. Use the question answers and the prompts given to sit down and realistically think, because what you get now is going to be the sole reason why you're going to get your clients in the future. The way you're going to put out your content, the way you're going to be pricing your services, and the reason the client is going to say yes to you when you connect on a call with them to sell, to pitch your service. So this is very important. So go back to your assignment sheets and fill in all of this. The next point, three, target audience and pain points. Now, what happens is that you've understood who you are as a designer. It's very important to understand who you are designing for. They are not just a city, they are specific people. Your ideal client is not with anyone with just money. They have a specific, they're a specific person. They have a specific problem, and you are going to be solving that. So you could be in the same city, but your ideal client could be different from another designer's ideal client. So, to understand this, remember not to design for multiple people, but the idea is to find one single person. We call this as a client avatar who you can understand thoroughly from their terms of what is their name, their age, their hobbies, what they do. To understand if this one person came up to you today, right now, would this person be a fit for you to be there, for them to be your client or no? Or would it just be a waste of your time? So, to give you a quick example, the name, let's say in this case, is Priya Shah. Her age is 31. She's newly married and has just bought her first 3 BHK. She's located in Powai, Mumbai. Her household income is 35 to 45 lakhs per annum. Her top three fears, because this is the most important part, her top three fears is that it goes over the budget, she hires the wrong contractor, or that the designs don't match the reality when the 3D designs are actually made. Where does she usually spend her time? Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Google, etc. And where is she? What has she already done before trying to find you? She's probably gone through multiple Pinterest boards, gone through YouTube videos, gone to multiple stores, asked her friends for suggestions. So you already know what her pain points are. And what are the three things that would really, really help her to get her outcome and make her feel seen? One is the home should feel like her and her family. No expensive mistakes should be made because nobody wants to waste money, and everything should be moved and done before they move in, not things are happening after they've moved in. So now that you know what she wants, it's very easy to understand what is going to make her to say yes. If you have clear pricing, that this is what the cost is going to be and these are going to be the deliverables of it, the chances are she is going to say yes to you. If you have realistic timelines, because she doesn't want that you say 50 days and then you take 90 days, right? If you have realistic timelines and communicate that to her properly, she is going to say yes to you. If you have a portfolio, existing portfolio that matches her current style, she is going to say yes to you. If you have past clients who have good things to say about you with their testimonials, hearing that, she is going to say yes to you. But what are the things she's going to say no to? If you're going to be very vague with your pricing, if you're going to answer her with things like, oh, let me understand your requirement and get back to you, or you're going to be like, please give me 24 to 48 hours to get back to you with certain things, or you're going to be like, I'm not sure how this process is going to be. I might have to do this and then maybe this, and you confuse her. Or let's say you give her a certain cost, and after the project is over, she comes to know that you've taken maybe cuts from the vendors or you've taken some hidden costs. The trust factor is going to completely go. So it's really important for you to understand what are the things which are already in your mind where you know she's going to say yes to, and the things that she's going to say no to, because you are going to use this to your advantage. Imagine if you know your client already so well, the chances of convincing them are going to be so much easier. So let me give you some examples of common pain points that most people have when they're designing their space. So one could be, I'm scared that my renovation will go over budget. Or they could be really confused and they just don't know where to start. Or they feel overwhelmed because they're not sure if they're going to choose the right material. They've seen so many options. It could just be something that they just don't have the time to manage the contractors and everything. Or it could be something that they want it to look expensive, but they also don't want to spend too much, or they're not sure if everything is going to fit correctly if their layout is right. So now, if you know these are the pain points, you are the expert, you are the designer. If you know these are the pain points, this is how you're going to use their pain points to position yourself to pitch for your service so that they know that if these are my problems and you are going to come with the solution for it, there is no way that they don't want to work with you. There is 110% chance that they want only you as a designer. Now, when you say that they compare you to other designers, tell me, is there any way that they can actually compare you to another designer? Because right now, if you are being compared to another designer, it's only apple and apple that can be compared. But if apple and oranges are to be compared, on what basis are you going to compare them? So if you're going to pitch them more to do with how you're solving their problem with consuming that what their pain points are and you are the solution to it, no other designer is going to do that. Other designers are simply going to tell them, oh, I'm going to give you 3Ds, I'm going to give you elevations, I'm going to give you blah, blah. They're just going to give them the features or the technicalities. But you are going to get directly into their emotion, understanding what their pain points are. So that is how you are going to communicate with them. And trust me, when you communicate through emotion rather than logic, the chances of them working with you are already 80% higher. Only the 20% requires is for you to actually do the work correctly. Quick example of how you should have all of these items designed before you go ahead and go on to the next steps is one, you should have your niche. Your niche, an example for this would be I design modern Japandi homes for homeowners who want a functional, timeless space that fits their lifestyle. Your premium positioning statement would should look like I help busy homeowners turn outdated houses into calm, beautiful Japandi homes through thoughtful designs, smart space planning, and seamless project coordination without the stress of costly mistakes or managing contractors. Your USP, your unique selling point should look something like I help busy homeowners create timeless Tripandi homes through a seamless end to end design process so they can enjoy a stress free renovation without the overwhelm of managing every detail themselves. And your client avatar for this example is, let's say, Ria, who is 34, a marketing manager from Mumbai, married with one child, and recently purchased a 3 BHK apartment. Her income is about 35 to 60 lakhs per year. She has a busy corporate personal professional life. She appreciates quality over quantity. Love Pinterest and Instagram inspiration. She wants a home that feels peaceful after the long work days. She doesn't have time to coordinate with vendors. Where does she spend her time online? On Instagram, Pinterest, home decor blogs. What all has she already tried? She's tried multiple, saved multiple Pinterest images, visited multiple furniture stores, asked contractors, vendors, friends for recommendations. What does she actually want? She wants a home that feels elegant yet practical, better storage and functional. She wants premium finishes. She wants a designer who handles everything, clear budgets and timelines. What makes us say yes? A strong portfolio with similar kind of design styles, transparent pricing, and clear design process with proper communication and realistic timelines. But what are the things she'll say no to? Hidden costs, poor communication, bad management, no clear processes. So now that you know all of this, you know exactly what are the things she's going to say yes to. You know her pain points are she doesn't know where to start. She feels overwhelmed with the layouts, materials. She feels that the renovation may exceed her budget. Maybe there are hidden costs. Maybe the contractor is taking money from her. She knows that she just doesn't have the time to manage all of this between the work and family and everything going on. So now you know that these are her top three pain points. Your services will literally answer these pain points by saying that you are the solution for that specific person, for that specific pain point. So, three services for this person could be one is end to end interior design services, where you give the complete design and execution from the concept to the handover, including space planning, 3D visuals, material selection, etc. Or it could be online interior designing. Considering she doesn't have so much time to go to places, you can literally help her online, helping her understand what the furniture layouts are, what the mood boards are. Or you could just help her with the styling, where the entire thing to uplift it with the decor, with the lighting. So these are the three services which the chances of Kriya saying no to is almost nil. So all you need to understand is what her requirements are, how you can fit your design to fulfill her requirements, her pain points, and there's no way that she's going to say no to you. So, this is the entire foundation. Understanding your niche, position, USP, and avatar. This is going to be literally a foundation for how you're going to create the content, how you're going to be talking to your clients when you want to sell them the projects when they come on those calls with you, and literally how you're going to package your services for maximum profits. So the problem is not going to be the pricing at all. The problem is not going to be that there are too many other designers, because you are positioning yourself to be unique in a very special way, solving the problem of your specific client in a very specific way. So keeping all of this in mind, please go back to your assignment sheets, answer everything, and go and look at the prompts if it helps you. If you don't want to do it with prompts, use your own head, no problem. Keep it simple, keep it to the point, but be super clear on who you are as a designer, what your services are, and who you want to cater to. Simple.